I'm Nathan Thiagarajan. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Harry's International. Harry's is a bar and dining chain. And for many of you that don't know out there, a lot of people might think that the brand is a pure pub or there's more drinking in it. But you'll be surprised to know that we're actually 50% dining and 50% beverages. So you can call us a casual dining brand. And we've got 22 stores in Singapore, started in 1992. So we've got quite a good footprint here locally. And overseas, we are also in Myanmar. We've got 3 stores in Yangon, and we'll be growing our stores in Yangon in a few years to come. I'm not a strong believer of digital ordering. I always believe that, in a casual bar and dining concept, the customer and consumer, people-to-people reaction is much better to have that human touch. But COVID came along and we had to react very quickly. We were in circuit breaker that lasted about 10 weeks. We had to come to decisions to make changes real quick. Consumers needed the confidence from our brand that things will be safe in our stores. So which means minimal contact with the staff is one way to look at it. And the fact that, with borders closing up, some of our foreign staff that have been stuck in Malaysia and with manpower crunch, it was the only thing to do, and we're glad that we did it because we had to roll it out fast. So we had to look at someone who's in the market. Tab Square has been in the market for a while, a leader in this solution, and also we needed a brand or a partner that can roll this out real quick within a matter of weeks because, like I said earlier, we've got 22 stores. So hence the decision to get on board with Tab Square. Well, we got on board with the AI Smart Web solution, which is a very, very simple way of setting up. We've got QR codes at the table. So for dine-in, customer just picks up his phone, scans the QR code. And unlike some other establishments during COVID, you can see that a lot of people are doing digital ordering. A lot of them would be using PDF menus. They are not versatile, they don't talk to the POS, and they are static. So this way, just like how you do your delivery orders, you'll see everything with pictures. However, in store, the colors are brighter. Digitally, it's easier to use. Recommendations keep popping up. And once the consumer chooses it and settles his order, it gets straight into our POS. So really no contact from our guys at all. Fires straight into the kitchen, fires straight into the bar. So very seamless till the actual F&B items arrive on your table. And the same goes for takeaway as well. You can scan the QR code, take your time, stand in a safe corner because it's all about safe distancing now. Place your orders, pick the food up from the collection point when it's ready, and then the customer moves on. So very easy to use solution, but I think more importantly, very user-friendly for the consumer. Well, definitely there are a lot of benefits. So allow me to break it up, say, into 3 parts, right? The first part addresses the COVID situation, the safety, the hygiene aspect, the minimal contact, shall we say, and the technology has come in and it's helped us. And working with a company like Tab Square, rolled it out real quick as well, and there's always follow-up. So it's smooth, it's seamless, and we've adopted it fast. So it's something that we're happy with to continue this journey for a long time. Now, the next key important part is actually on the labor. Right, we've got some stores that have an adoption rate of say 50%, while other stores go up to as high as 70%. Now, those stores with higher adoption, we see some labor savings that's coming in. Somewhere around the 10 to 15% mark, and I believe that if we keep pushing, we can reach a 20% labor reduction, which is actually in F&B context a huge amount to save, if you like, on the labor front. Now, the 50% adoption outlets, they'll take a little bit more time, but we're getting there. So we are very happy with what we've seen in terms of labor cost trending, and we believe we'll get better as we use the technology more. And on the third point, right, on revenue, we're quite impressed with what's happening now. We can see that with higher adoption rate with our stores that have 70% adoption rate in using the technology or the QR code ordering, you say, we can see an upside of about 5% to as high as 10% on the average check. And how TapSquare comes into this part would actually be the AI taking center stage. The system behind is recognizing the consumer by his mobile number that he puts in, and from there, if I had chicken wings, say, with a beer after work, and if I went back to any of the Harry's stores 2-3 days down the road and I'm there for lunch, the AI will pick up that my last meal was chicken wings and recommend me something like chicken parmigiana, where our gross margin is actually higher, so it's an item that we want to push. So with such data that we collect and also trying to match what a consumer likes, we find that very, very happy a fine point where we can actually get that revenue upside. 5% is a great number, in some cases 10. So we're very happy on the revenue front as well. We're already embarking on the delivery solution which TapSquare has. Now, I'm not sure about other F&Bs out there, but I'm quite confident a lot of them would be in the same position as Harry's, where being a casual dining concept with a fair bit of stores around the island, we work with all 3 delivery partners like Grab, Deliveroo, Foodpanda. So the hardware becomes an issue, right? We've got 3 tablets running and we need it seamless as well. And it's not integrated to our POS, which means when the order comes in, our staff has to go and work on that independent tablet, then get to the POS, and then key in the orders again. So degree of error, there are chances that it will happen. With the TapSquare solution, it's seamless. What the tablet does, it brings all platforms into its own system, and it also auto pushes the orders straight into the POS. So the staff interaction on taking the orders and putting in the POS gets eliminated, shall we say. So degree of error is almost non-existent. And then it fires out and that whole course of workflow continues. So that's the great part about the delivery aspect that we're going to look into. The next point is actually on payment solutions. A lot of QSRs would go digital payment solutions from the start of their meal or at the end of the meal. Harry's is now exploring to embark at the end of the meal, as easy as using Google Pay or Apple Pay, so that consumers can also transact on their orders. And this leaves our staff a little bit more time to give better customer experience and to use their hours or their work more productively. And closing a bill might seem like it's a very a short workflow process, but it's actually quite tedious from the time the customer raises his hand. The staff has to open the bill, check the bill, print the bill, walk it over. So there's a lot of footsteps in and out just to close one bill. When the solution, it's so easy, a consumer just does it off his phone, which is what everybody is doing these days. Closes the bill, says thank you to our staff, and we'll see them again. So that's what we're embarking on next with TapSquare. Yeah, I'm very happy with the collaboration with TapSquare. From the support angle, right? TapSquare, based in Singapore, has a very good team, right? There's enough manpower, enough staff around to help us in real time in terms of system adaptation or any issues that we might have. But also what's most important is also having my own dedicated account manager, and the account manager has a support team. They're looking through data all the time. Data analytics is run through with those guys at TapSquare. They make it quite easy for our management team to understand. We have engagements almost every month, and what we're doing there is studying the consumer behavior, getting the data out from the AI, trying to see what's the best items we can use to upsell and cross-sell, because what we actually want to see is the actual profit margin increasing by that 50 cents or by that dollar. And this data helps us, and obviously the TapSquare team does a lot of the groundwork before it reaches us, and from there we actually collaborate very closely in menu engineering. So it's much faster way than going through Excel or your gut feeling in terms of what consumers want or what you should sell. And I think the old way of just looking at top 10 items, bottom 10 items, it doesn't really help in menu engineering or menu planning in that sense. So with that data and that collaboration with the TapSquare team, we have a lot of confidence in our menu, in what we're rolling out, what we want to upsell, and what we want to cross-sell. I would definitely recommend TapSquare for all the reasons I've said throughout this interview or conversation, shall we say. But I think what's quite unique that I have not touched upon as well is the fact that we've adopted the system for about 3 months now. And in that 3 months, we've got about 15,000 unique users, right? By using the QR code menu in store. Now, this gives me a great opportunity to engage with them outside the store. Harry's has our own CRM system, and how we recruit our, shall we say, onboard members is more on the conventional way. And sometimes, in the past, it could take us about a year to reach 10,000 interested members to download our app or to come on board. But in just 3 months, getting 15,000 is a good number. And that's an adaptation of about 50 to 70% users. I haven't even reached the peak yet. So those numbers will start to grow. And the opportunity to reach out to them when they're not in store, I think that's very, very powerful. And that's something that everyone should be excited, getting the data, studying that analytics that comes behind it. You have a good data size to make the right decision, or shall I say sample size. But besides using that data for your menu and studying your consumer, you now can actually reach out to them, and not only reach out when they are in store, but also out of store. So this is actually very powerful and very helpful to our business. Don't forget, there's also the AI engine behind it. Now, my staff I wouldn't say my staff do not have to be trained, they'll always have to be trained, but the AI engine actually picks up the consumer behavior, upsells it, cross-sells it, gets the right item pushed to you, and all this works automatically, and the engine of the system, the AI just gets smarter and smarter. So this is really helpful for us in terms of increasing margin, and at the same time, from a consumer's point of view, using a system where they're recommending things that you like, pushing things to you, or maybe not pushing, but making it accessible to you. So consumer journey as well becomes really easy, very helpful, and my margins increase. So it's a win-win situation throughout with the AI module in the system.